This video demonstrates how to install the brand new CryoDoser FleX Craft Custom. This is the CryoDoser FleX body. It's made of 3/16 stainless steel. Using a 7/16 wrench, you can tighten the bolts on the back of the brackets, just like the CryoDoser and the UltraDoser that came before it. This is a 6-foot stand-in base. We also offer a 7-foot stand-in base, depending on your application and installation needs. Next, we're going to mount the dosing arm. The dosing arms are interchangeable. We have a short arm and a long arm. This is the short arm. You're going to slide the gasket on first, and then the female portion of the bayonet goes over. Using the sanitary clamp, you'll tighten it down and make sure that the brand new Doser Ease actuator, which is all electric, is aligned properly. Next, we're going to mount the interface box. There's several connections on the top of the interface box, and there's ring clamps on the back. Using the T-bar Allen wrench, you'll want to remove one side of the ring clamps on the top and bottom. When installing the interface box and the controller box a little later, it's recommended that you use a helper or a second set of hands. While it is not absolutely necessary, it is difficult to do it by yourself. I'm showing you how to do this by myself, but I've done this several times. The interface box is IP67 rated, which means it is wash down resistant, so it is meant to be mounted here on the pole right next to the doser at all times. It's meant to be in the filler rooms or next to your fillers, wherever it may be. The interface box does have connections on the top and bottom, but once it's already installed, you will not need to be getting inside the interface box. I'm going to use a ladder for safety. I'm going to connect the tubes that are on the top of the doser to the top of the interface box. The tubes are labeled, so that'll be easy. Mounting the controller box, we're going to mount the Craft Custom controller here. It is touchscreen. It has a power on and off and a dose enable and disabled button on the front. We use the same brackets that we've used on our controllers in the past. Again, I would recommend using a helper here. The controller is not that heavy, but it is a little awkward. So you will save time if you have someone else holding this while you tighten it down. The controller box does have some connections on the bottom that will go to power sources and will actually interact with the interface box. This Craft Custom controller also has the brand new dynamic dose option, which is incremental dosing. You can adjust your dose duration per can up to 10 cans in a row. Next, we're going to finish installing the remainder of the parts. This is the vent heater, and then you'll see I'm looking at the bottom of the interface box there. All of the connections on the bottom of the interface box are labeled. Next, we're going to do the dosing head heater and its cable. Again, its connections are labeled on the bottom of the interface box. And when you install these cables, you want to pay attention to the pins and the tabs and make sure you have everything in proper alignment before pushing really hard and then trying to tighten those down. This is the communication cable between the controller box and the interface box. You'll plug it into the connection labeled Ethernet. Make sure that all these connections are fully tightened down and you can't see any of the rubber gaskets or bushings. This is your power source connection between your interface box and your controller box. The CryoDoser FleX has certain parts that need power. It is a floatless doser, so it is important that you have power source between the interface box and the controller box. Now we've connected power for the controller box, and now I'm connecting the gas source for the purge and for the inlet valve. You can connect that to your liquid source if your liquid source is over 60 psi. Now we're connecting our sensor cable that will be either mounted to our filler or to the very front of the doser head. When using the Craft Custom, you will actually connect this to the timing sensor. And now, using the tube from the Ease actuator, I'm connecting it to the purge on the interface box. And now I'm connecting the actual actuator itself, the doser ease, for power. The liquid source is acquired the same way as it is on the ultradoser and the cryodoser. Using this 1-2-3 style hose, you're going to put the bayonet inside the doser, and using a sanitary clamp, you're going to tighten that down, and then take the 1-2-3 hose and connect it to your dewar or your bulk tank. This is an overview of programming the Craft Custom Controller. You're going to power on, and this is all touchscreen. You're going to enable system, and then touching the screen takes you to all your options. First thing you want to do is set your liquid level. This liquid level can be changed according to your desire. You can soften the dose by changing your liquid level here. If you have pressure, your mode will show you that you have OK pressure, and then you can set your recipes by in the recipe setup. You can store up to 4 recipes here, and then you program each step, which is a container. So every container can have a different dose delay and dose duration. This is extremely popular and necessary for the linear fillers because each can is exposed to more oxygen than the one before it. So being able to adjust your dose duration per can brings consistency and reduces the oxygen level in the headspace accurately across all the cans that are in line. You can do this up to 10 cans or containers in a row. As I said, you can store up to 4 recipes. So if you are on recipe number 3 or recipe 4, when you go to your screen, it'll show at the top FD1, FD2, FD3, or FD4. Those all stand for fixed delay. You can also purge by going to your mode and selecting purge, and it is automated at that point. There's FD2, and so on. Thank you.